invoice, it could be your last will and POA, and so forth. So, in a nutshell, that's what I do. And lately, I've also been really dabbling around with AI and ML. So, in last 2 3 years, it's an intersection of blockchain, AI, ML, and everything else in between. So, yeah, that's who we are, or I am, and I love to work with you guys. Last hackathon was a big success. That was mainly focused around housing, which was a big issue. It still is. So we've got some really nice teams, and teams perform very well. So hoping you guys will do well and enjoy plus learn and so forth. Yeah.
Thank you,
So over
Manish.
to you guys. Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much for your support throughout the years. We appreciate it. Yeah, we know this is not the first hackathon that you've been helping us with, and then this year theme is about food, and then we already talked about the impact of tariff and how blockchain application can work on our challenges during our meetings. So here, everyone, back to you guys. We know food transparency and traceability is a bit, blockchain application especially is a bit more difficult, but it's also very like rewarding, right? In a sense that you guys are working on like the most recent issue, as you already know about tariff by China, by the US on Canada recently, and this is what all of our sponsors and partners, not only even within the food industry, but also like other industry like technology, etc., is like working on. So anyone here actually working on our key theme number 5, food transparency, traceability, and supply chain?
Yes.
Yeah, perfect, perfect. Yeah, do you mind sharing with us, like even just a brainstorm idea, like what you guys are working on, and then maybe we can get Manish feedback on it?
Yeah. So what we are trying to do is we want to implement multi-component tracking specifically for products which are in turn made of multiple products. So if it's a simple product like an apple, it's a little easier to track. Like it's just one apple going through the different areas. But we want to implement it for something with a lot of ingredients. For example, a granola bar made from sugar and a couple of other things which come from different places. Um, so we want to do this, and but we also want to implement trust with the user, so that the user can scan the QR code on a product, and he can find out exactly where this product comes from, how it was grown, and everything. And um, something that we've been thinking about is generally in supply chain they store all of the data on a private network. This private network can be set up using frameworks such as Hyperledger, and that helps build trust. Um, that's the strong point of blockchain, right? It creates a trustable, tamper-proof kind of a storage of data. But in this case, if you want to build the trust with the user, that I feel is not sufficient because this is still stored on the private network, which can be controlled by the supplier and everybody who's just part of the supply chain, but this consumer is not part of it, right? So our idea was that we store the data which is relevant to the supply chain, relevant to the distributors and such. We store it on a private network, but we also store some data on a public blockchain. For example, Ethereum. Whatever data we want to make available to the public, that we want to the public to be able to trust, we store it on some public blockchain. So that is the idea. Like we build trust with the user in this method. So I wanted to get your thoughts on this.
That's very good. I understand your question. It's just that integrating multiple supply chains would be very complex on its own. So, given the very limited time, you just have to really think it through how that's going to come together, right? So, let's say you take an example of granola bar, then it's made out of 10 ingredients, one coming from Jamaica, one coming from Peru, so really integrating all that could be a tricky proposition. That's number one. caution that. That's why, in the past, when we were building it, we were pretty much picking up um, simple use cases like, avocado, which is, full product on its own. So you could trace it from farm to fork, right? So, but in cases of multiple supply chains, it's a complexity involved. So just a word of caution there, but it's a good project.
And what exactly would you think would be problematic? Because I understand that it is a little complex as well. So I was thinking about it, and uh, like, so we have a product, it's going through different stages. Like whenever the products are joining together, we just detect the RFIDs of everything, or like some identification, we put it on the blockchain. Like, could I get like specific areas where do you think it might be difficult to deal with, or like some specific example?
Yeah, so let's say in a supply chain you have 10 actors, right? Like from farmer to packer to, I'm just giving you one example, right? So an example of a one trace of a chain, right? Or supply chain. Then there are actors in between who may or may not participate the way you wanted to. So somebody in between is dropping the ball. As a result, your full traceable log is not available, right? So let's say a shipper dropped the ball or the packer dropped the ball. You understand my point? So that could be a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Yeah.
number one. And then a lot of times within food supply chain, I have noticed that not everybody is open to this idea of transparency for whatever reason. Because I talked to McDonald's and they said, I was building one use case back in the days, and the higher up people told me that, Manish, if we disclosed the supply chain, nobody will eat McDonald's, right?
Mm-hmm.
So these are the challenges you have to watch for. But at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, there are set of companies or suppliers who do believe in full transparency. So out
Mm-hmm.
of 10, you will find one or two, but the phenomena is going to catch pretty soon. So let's say you have five of these, you know, um, brands who are providing full log, five are not. Then all of a sudden, the consumers will demand, and then the consumers will start buying um, the one with the complete log, and then they will start rejecting the other ones. As a result, the rest of the five will also have to come on board. So these are the
Mm-hmm.
ground level challenges. The
Mm-hmm.
other thing is, let's say if something costs $5. When you add traceability, there's a cost associated. So who pays for all that? Eventually, consumer, right? So let's
Mm-hmm.
say you have a $5 avocado and then you have a $7 avocado, because $7 avocado gives you the traceability. Are
Mm-hmm.
consumers ready to pay that?
Mm-hmm.
So
So,
these are some of the challenges. And in terms of blockchain and technology side, there's pretty decent work involved. So you have to really think about, okay, do we want to give full log, or do you want to just provide the necessary information through the ledger, or provide the link to the private data? So you have to think about all these things. You understand?
mm-hmm.
Because putting all that data within the ledger and blockchain is expensive too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, okay, makes sense. So for the last part, like, yeah, like as you mentioned, not all companies want full transparency, right? Or there might be
Yes.
certain areas that they don't want to make transparent, that there might be some secrets or trade secrets even.
Yes.
So that thing I think is we would make it a little easier to modify, to like specify exactly what data you want to make public, and then
Yes.
those things could be made public.
Yeah, so
So,
that's where a nicely knit private and public network has to be figured out, which is not that straightforward, right?
Oh,
So
yes,
you
that's
have to
true.
think about, okay, because blockchain is all, if it's a public ledger, everything is visible, right?
Hmm.
So if you're putting in Ethereum, it's like everything is visible. But let's say
Yes.
if you're using a Hyperledger, then you could still restrict to, you could create channels where, okay, that you're only seeing the channel you're subscribed to and so forth. Okay.
Hmm. That makes
So
sense.
even from a technology perspective, you have to think it through. Okay, is it going to be public ledger? Is it going to be um, semi-private? There's no such thing as private blockchain, to be honest. You can, but for this use case, it has to be a semi-private, or there's something called permission chain, right?
Yes. Yes, that is what we were thinking about using. So, like creating a permission chain.
Yeah.
Why would you say that it is not private?
Blockchain is all about public, right? So once the information goes, it's pretty much accessible to whosoever. It's like Ethereum is a public chain, right?
Yes, yes.
So
So, mhm. So we were thinking that yes, so like, but the blockchain it's about where the data is stored, right? Like it's if the blockchain works because the same data is stored across a very large number of devices. So we can still have this large number of devices through like the manufacturer can have some of its own devices, the supplier can have some of its own devices, all that stuff, and then because they want to be able to trust each other as well, so that is a part of it, and. So in that case, like this, the public wouldn't be able to access this data, right? If we just store it on this network of devices, which are only which are controlled by people who are a part of the supply chain.
well, if you're giving a QR code, then you have to think about, okay, so if you're giving QR code to a consumer,
Hmm.
then that is a public information, right?
Yes, but that QR code would only get data. The website that they go to that would extract data from a public blockchain, but that data is selectively stored on the public blockchain. That
Yeah,
is
so
something
yeah,
else.
you're right. So that's where it's a very close-knit handshake.
Hmm.
That's not that straightforward. However,
Makes
with
sense.
this tariff push, maybe it's possible now because 5 years back when I was working at it, there was no appetite for it, right? But now
Hmm.
maybe there's an appetite for it. So if business is driving it, government is driving it, yeah, it will happen.
Hmm. Yeah.
The only thing you have to think about, okay, so somebody's got to be paying in between for extra overhead of transparency, right? So then
Yeah.
who pays for it? Eventually, I
Mm.
guess it goes from consumer. So
Yes.
consumer, if they're already getting a pinch with $5 avocado, are they willing to pay $7 avocado because of the transparency? That's the question you have to ask.
That makes sense. I'm also have like maybe it is yes a little more difficult for something like avocados, but maybe it is more feasible for something which is already expensive. Let's say furniture, but that's not the case here, so never mind. But I would say that I think people already pay a premium for certain products. Like there's the organic aisle where everything is marked up so high, right? So in this case, like there's a certain like group of people who would pay higher prices just to really trust that this thing is healthy for them. So if something says it's organic, then I think it would be nice for them to be able to kind of see if it really is organic or not. And I think some people would be willing to pay for it, I suppose.
Yeah, I
And
mean, I think there is an appetite for it. For example, let's say if I am buying an organic ginger, I want to make sure it is organic because, okay, they're charging, let's say normal ginger is $3 and
right.
organic ginger is $5, and I'm willing to pay $5, right? But then
Yeah,
I better make sure that it is organic, in fact, right?
right, right.
So then, as a consumer, I could be demanding from those brands that give me a log or traceability. Can you give me a proof that it is in
Mhm.
fact organic? And then
Exactly.
how do you actually certify organic? There's obviously certifications, but at the same time, with the QR code, you could probably get pretty much traceability from farm to fork, which is like,
Hmm.
okay, proof of origin, and then pretty much the entire supply chain traversing.
Hmm.
You could get a log of it. Um, but yeah, I guess there's not enough consumers demanding it. So if consumers start demanding it, I think the producers and the suppliers would actually start implementing this solution.
Makes sense. And also, like this is also just, I think, mm, I'm not sure about the details, but I feel like it probably improves efficiency just in the management of the supply chain. Anyways, I read somewhere that even Walmart uses this kind of technology for managing their spinach, like leafy grain chain. So I guess like there would be there's potential to save some costs somewhere because like when we have data we can use it like I'm sure to like find places where some food is getting wasted, how to prevent these things. So maybe there's like some of this cost that can be supplemented by saving it somewhere else. The cost of monitoring can be saved by saving it some cost somewhere somehow.
No, I agree with that. Again, we want to give other people a chance quickly, but so let's
Yes,
just
thank you.
wrap up on this. So, what I would recommend is pick a lane. Don't start solving all the problems. Pick a real, genuine problem statement within that supply chain, and then just innovate around it, and you'll do good. But like, don't pick a bigger problem which you can't really present in 4 days or 5 days time, right?
Makes sense. Thank you so much.
So yeah, just work with that.
Got it.
All the best.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next question.
Thank you, Manish. Hope that was a helpful discussion for other participants as well. We know this is a very technical topic, so we appreciate your feedback. And for the multi-component ingredient challenge set specifically, we do have our other sponsor, who's RMark. So they are the one who came up with the idea because that's a real problem that they are facing, especially as you all know, because of the Canadian, like local brand and
Yes.
emphasis recently. So we do have their support there. So what they were thinking is that we know this is a difficult topic, but if you utilize blockchain, utilize any kind of open source um, data, then it would be very helpful to think of a solution, right? That help them to figure out which ingredient came from where, is it Canadian or not, is it organic or not, and it ties all the way back to the prevention of food fraud and also Canadian brand problems. So that is the main idea. Why did we put that there? And I understand that the technology part is difficult. So if you ever run into any issues in terms of refining your solutions, finding the information, then please do your research first. And if you struggle, you can reach out to our student success officer with your questions or ideally with the kind of specific issue that you're facing. Then we will deliver that to our sponsor Aramark, and then they'll be able to help you with supplier information. So they will give you the information about for example, the granular bar example, like what kind of suppliers they're working with and how do they track the origin of the components, if that makes sense. So basically, if you guys face any issue, we can connect your questions to our sponsor, and then they will work with their supplier and give you the information that you need.
Makes sense. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you, Manish, for helping everyone with foreseeing what kind of challenges that they will face as well. We know this is a tough one, but we really, really look forward to the solutions that the students will bring in.
Right now, because this is not a new challenge, this is an older challenge, and then industry had been working on it. But I think it can get a fresh energy
Yeah.
because of the tariffs thing. So now all of a sudden, we may see some positive solutions around it. Because obviously, if you think about it, one car which gets sold in Canada, for example, crosses the Canada, US, and Mexico border, I think they were saying 8 to 10 times. So when you calculate all the parts that are coming from uh, different places, and it gets assembled eventually, you'll see they're like at least 8 to 10 times crossing borders. So which gets very complex now.
That's a fair point. Yeah, as you mentioned, nowadays it's not even just about the component itself. It is, yeah, there's a lot of issues behind like Canadian and then pricing and all of that. So
Right.
yeah, it is a fresh take. Yeah. Any of you guys here? We actually received a request from one team. They already have a presentation ready and they would like you to just review it for within 5 minutes and then, give your feedback on it. Do you mind if like at the end of this session you just stay back with us like 5 minutes, 10 minutes maximum? Enjoy
Sure.
a breakout room. Yeah, okay, okay. Just to view their presentation and give your feedback on it.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a question here from the chat section. It's
Okay.
from Claire. Do you think that potential agricultural standards can help simplify our food supply chain by ensuring a particular level of quality for food products? Yeah.
So help me understand the question here. So the question, I guess, is the current standards, are they sufficient? Is that the question?
Claire, if you can elaborate more.
Or even unmute and ask. And I'm sorry, I don't have chat on. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I think she left. She left the meeting. So,
Oh, she left already. Well, definitely there's a room for improvement. I know for sure. If it was perfect, then why bother even looking at these challenges, right? It's definitely not perfect, and it has a lot of room for improvement. And it's not broken. It had been working fine for the most part, but at the same time, post COVID, I think it is somewhat broken. So they're trying to rebuild these supply chains, which has obviously happened up to a certain level. But then we all saw the prices going up for pretty much everything, because that all of a sudden that supply chain was broken and it needed to be rebuilt again, and hence the price went up. Um, so right now, let's say in US, there's big egg shortage. So that's what happens. Like something happens, pandemic happens, and all of a sudden bird flu happens. Then you got to rebuild the supply chain. So definitely it has a room for improvement. The traceability is not properly implemented yet in a lot of actually lot of products. But I think if consumers continue demanding it, eventually it will be implemented. Hopefully, I answered that question.
Thank you. Sorry, she's not even here, so we can't confirm that. But hopefully, it will be a good insight for other members here as well, as we see like a pretty solid number of people joining, like around 30. So it's good that you guys are interested in this topic because it is the hottest topic right now, as you all know. What else? So there's a question: who's working on single component? Who's working on multi-component? Or you guys just getting to know this topic before deciding?
So are you asking me?
Just everyone, yeah. I already know you're working on multi-components, so good.
Yeah.
No worries. Because we have like, single component, like avocado, for example, and then obviously multi-component, which is like granola bar, case study.
Oh,
And then,
that's
yeah.
really nice. Where could we access that?
Oh, those are the challenge sets that we gave you guys.
Ah,
Yeah, so
okay.
yeah. It's not like a solution that I already have on my. That's for you guys to hack. So
Yeah, I thought there is like some documentation or anything. Never mind. Thank you.
yeah, no worries, no worries. Um, yeah. What else?
Yeah, if you guys would like to take the opportunity to ask your speaker
Yeah,
his perspective on your solutions, now would be the perfect time to do so.
exactly. Thank you, Abby.
If you have any questions as well, feel free to unmute your mic or just put it in the chat box.
Yeah, and then Abby will help
Yeah.
coordinate and send the questions to Manish. Manish, since you have experience with last year, do you actually have any advice on the demo and the pitching part?
Um,
You just
advise on, sorry, advise on?
oh sorry, like the demo, like the demo
Oh,
and the
demo,
pitch.
yeah, demo, yeah, okay, yeah. Well, yes, I do. So the last time, those who had some sort of working model, right? So there are two ways you could do your demo. You could have like a PowerPoint or some sort of presentation, right? There are teams who are able to, let's say, even implement the front end side of things. So you could have a Figma screens going. Obviously, the expectation here is not to implement the backend solution because in 4 days you can't really do that, right? But anything which helps judges visualize what is your solution in terms of Figma designs or in terms of some sort of screenshots, that really stands out. So step one is clear articulation of your problem statement. Make sure you're picking the right problem statement. If the problem statement is not clear, happy to help you guys articulating that. Okay? So that's number one. Yeah, actually, you're right. So somebody said the solution has to be feasible. Yes, agree. So your proposed solution has to be feasible. It should be implementable. It should make sense, and your solution should be well thought of. Should be well thought of. So so the judges will always be looking at, okay, how in depth you went ahead. Did you do the proper research? Did you even talk to possible users? I know it's very difficult, but you could talk to mentors and make sure you understand the problem statement, right? Do your research and then come up with a PowerPoint is good or a presentation is good, but at the same time, if you have some screenshots, um, yeah, so there's somebody saying, yeah, they explained. So because the thing is, let's say if there are 50 teams or 40 teams, the judges have to make a decision, and the judges always get impressed with somebody who's gone extra mile um, to even demo. I mean, there was one group, they actually pretty much implemented the solution. Our expectation is not necessarily that you implement it, but that group happens to be technically savvy. They had access to cloud computing. I mean, you guys also have access to cloud computing. So you could even fake your way around to kind of implement a solution or prototype of some sort. Again, it's a hard work, but that is going to really stand out.
For sure, you're absolutely right because it's like not only about the way that you present it, but also how like real world industry expert or companies or organizations can use it or not, right? So yeah, but obviously
Yeah,
having a proper presentation and demo would be very helpful. Yeah.
I
Abby,
mean,
do you want to say something?
if you feel that it's hard to implement, and if you feel that there will be challenges, go ahead and mention those challenges, right? Say, okay, propose your solution, but you could also say, but at the same time, these are the challenges we anticipate the industry is going to have. And that will give us an impression that, okay, you know what you're talking about, right?
For sure. I think we have some questions coming in from the chat. So sorry, let me try
Yeah.
to.
Yeah, if you want to go one by one, please.
Yeah,
Happy
Abby,
to.
thank
Please cipher it and let me know and ask again, and I'll try and answer.
Yeah, so
you.
we have a question here, but I think it's more on the technicality. Like they were asking if they have a project like, of a specific challenge, but their solution aligns also with another challenge set. Like, can they still follow through with it, or do they have to make it completely different? I think
So
Lily,
are you
maybe you
saying,
can.
okay, so from what I understand, so you're saying two groups have a similar solution? Is that what it is?
I think I think their solution also aligns with the challenge. I think Lily, you can help answer this as well. I believe their solution also aligns with another challenge set. Like they were asking, can we still follow through with it, or do we have to make it completely different?
Mm, no, you don't have to make it completely different. No, but if you mind clarifying, then that
Yeah,
would be great because this is kind of hard to tell. Yeah.
yeah,
Which challenge set are you working on? The solution we have is very similar to another challenge. That's fine. I mean, we
yeah,
don't limit you guys into any one of the challenges,
yeah,
but I would say like having a clear, how to say, it's more like having a clear approach, right? Like what kind of problem you are trying to fix will help a lot. Because obviously, the challenges are also intercorrelated, right?
yeah,
Like for example, for sustainability can be used in a lot of things, like in retail, in charitable support. So what is the main problem that you are facing will be the challenge that defines your solution, if that makes sense.
And just adding, yeah, you're right, Lily. So, and just adding more to it is just so that you can demonstrate that you have thought through a one particular challenge set inside out. I would say pick one lane. Don't be on two lanes. So pick one lane, and then you towards the end of your slide, you could say, similarly, this could be repurposed for other supply chains. And then there you can mention, like, I don't know, clothes traceability or brand traceability and whatever else. Just giving you example, right? But judges is gonna like that. Okay, you stick to one lane. You thought through on one particular problem case study end to end, and you can demonstrate that, hey, look, the similar use case could be repurposed to other supply chains like clothing and so forth, and that will go very well.
Thank you, Manish. That's such a good point. Yeah, that's what we try to say, actually. Thank you. So obviously, it's just look better when you have a clear direction and what kind of problem you're solving, right? So it should belong to one challenge set. But obviously, you can also mention the other kind of application that you can expand from this solution, if that makes sense. But you should have like a core problem that you're working on. So I would say if you're saying that your main topic is innovative retail, let's just stick there and try to think of what kind of partners that even Hackathon has or any kind of like retail companies that in Canada can actually utilize your solution and match the demand accordingly. And then of course you can mention, this can also be used for other applications such as nutrition and consumer education. I hope that answered your question. Site?
yeah. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Manish. Yeah, we got a yes, so good.
Yeah, so we have another question. It's for Manish.
Yes.
How valuable do you think a solution in innovation in the food industry will be, which doesn't solve an inherent problem, but help drive additional sales for restaurants and provide a better, newer experience to the customers using AR?
Example, please.
alternative reality. Yeah. Um,
Or if they
Gorgeous.
can speak
Yeah,
up.
maybe. Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
maybe you can explain more.
Don't be shy, guys. Just speak up. Just speak
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, speak up. I'll give you a tip, everyone. I think we've got 30 people here. So last time my experience was we had almost 40, 50 groups. I forgot how many, but quite a number. And I would say 80% of the people had a very good solution, right? But they were not able to present properly. So, from a judge's perspective, you may have a very good solution, but you're not presenting or articulating it in a proper way. How do we understand? So, one of the important aspect is to practice your pitch. Okay. So I would say practice your pitch again and again. Once you're done with it, I don't think a lot of people are actually putting emphasis on practicing their pitch. So ideally, if there are four people, everybody should speak up. But let's say three people are shy, even one person could speak up. But like that person has to be bang on because we only get 2.5 minutes to really understand your solution. And then all of a sudden, within 2 minutes, we have to grade you and so forth. So I would say practice your communication. That was a major issue last hackathon, which I felt. That's just my personal 2 cents.
Hi, Manish. Hi, Lee. Thank you for taking time to answer my question. So, basically, what I wanted to ask was, it's not really an inherent problem in any restaurant or any food industry. It's just to drive some extra sales using AR experience for the customers. The problem statement I'm picking up is customers find it hard and it gets indecisive to try new stuff when they visit a new restaurant or uh, don't really know the portion size of some of the dishes. So just wanted to just had an idea of getting an AR solution to like present the 3D models of dishes in a restaurant and like something around those lines and provide additional values, nutritional values about the dishes and ingredients and everything. So something around those lines.
I think that's a great idea. Hey, Gurjot, good to see you, buddy.
Hi, Manish.
Yeah, it's a great idea. I think a high-end restaurants would appreciate, or the consumers would appreciate a little bit more. It's more of an experience, right? So I
Yeah,
can give you
definitely.
one example. I went to this restaurant in Mexico, and there was just a big farm, and everything was locally grown within the farm. And then, so the way they presented every dish is like, okay, this is grown in our own farms here, and a little bit of background about how it's grown and what's happening in the farms. Obviously, if it was evening or night, I couldn't really. Well, I did visit the farm, but at the same time, at night you couldn't see much. But like the experience was very exciting because here you are, it's just a locally grown stuff coming at you, um, and then presented right there. And that was the case with another seafood restaurant I went to, where they just uh, caught the fish from the local beaches nearby, and
Mhm.
then they were just cooking it there. So that's a totally different experience if somebody can provide that. It's not easy to provide, let's say, in Canadian setup. But if a restaurant could even provide the visuals or 3D models of it, okay, so let's say if avocado is coming from um, Mexico, how it's all grown, and that could be a part of your story or even your menu, so that even before eating or ordering the dishes, they have a background of where this whole ingredients are coming from. So I don't know if you ever watched that famous chef Ranbir Brar.
Mhm.
The reason I like him because he gives you the background where, okay, let's say take an example of paneer. He will give you all the background where all this started in 16th century, how we started making paneer dish and so forth, which I feel is exciting.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's something that I had an idea that could fit in the innovation in food retail space. So I just wanted to get an idea of how valuable it could be for the problem here.
I'm
Yeah.
sharing my own experience.
Hmm.
I loved it. So I'm sure there's a lot of people who would like to, because it's just an experience, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah, definitely.
whatever you're serving, if you're serving, let's say paneer tikka, I'm just giving you example, then you could almost bring in to life that particular dish through your 3D models and AR VR thingy, right?
Hmm. Yeah, okay. I guess I have my answer. But yeah, thank you so much, though.
Yeah, all the best. Though this is a good one actually, because a lot of high-end restaurants, they're trying to differentiate themselves. Because
Hmm.
let's say if they're charging $40 for a dish, which people are willing to pay, but then they're wanting a little bit more than just eating food. They're wanting that experience, right?
Yep.
So
And when you go to high-end restaurants, you're paying $50 for a dish. It's really hard to get an idea of how it would be or how the portion size it could be. So yeah, just helping the customers decide better in a better way.
yeah, and how do you justify that $50?
Yeah, definitely.
So you got to do something from a restaurant perspective uh, to justify that experience, basically.
Hmm. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Manish, for your time.
Yeah, yeah. All the best.
Thank you so much. That was a really good case, actually, Gurujot. Yeah, and thank you, Manish. So yeah, actually, this is the end of our session. I know this is a very productive one, and people probably will have questions. So if you guys have anything, you can send it to Discord or email, and then we will try our best to direct the questions to Manish and get his help on that. Okay. So
So,
yeah,
so
um,
Abigail, are we meeting tomorrow as well? Because I know
Yes.
we have a
yeah,
placeholder,
yeah, one
but
to
Yeah,
two.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
we
have
will.
another session tomorrow. Yeah.
okay, 1 to 2, right?
Yeah, one
Yes.
to two. So we
Okay,
will so Abby will help send the updated the Zoom link in that placeholder invite so that you
Oh
can
yeah.
come. It'll be the different
Yeah.
Zoom link. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I forgot. I just forgot to rename the event, but yeah, I've
Okay, no
already
worries.
added.
Thank you for the reminder.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.
Yeah. And as we have to wrap this up, we know we have a special request for another group that
Okay.
Abby mentioned. So Rui, can you help us create a breakout room again? And then yeah, if you don't mind, actually let me just do it. It's like pretty fast. So yeah. So presentation,
well, for
right?
everybody else, all the best, and we
Yeah.
will see you. So it's happening on Saturday, right?
Yes, next
Okay.
Saturday. So we will see you in person, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
Looking
perfect.
forward. Yeah, looking forward. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I will just assign you to the Manish. So I will just assign you to that room now so that you
Sure.
can be with the team. Yeah.
Okay. Bye, everyone.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, Manish.
Thank you. Okay, so I made a room. Abby, can you help assign the person that you
Oh, sure.
mentioned? Yeah, thank you, thank you.
Wait, is it?
Okay, I think I found his name Upayan, so I put
Yeah.
everyone in the breakout room. Yeah, for everyone else, thank you so much for joining today. You're good to leave. And yeah, let us know if you need any help. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All the best, guys. So, do I have to do anything, or it'll take me
Oh,
there?
Wait,
oh,
it
let
didn't.
me open the room, I guess.
Yeah, it should be.
Yeah,
So
we,
yeah,
we should join.
Manish, you should be in that specific room actually.
Yeah, Upayan and Kiarash, yeah, you can join. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Lily.
No worries. Thank Abby. Can you be in the breakout room
Yeah.
just in case? Okay. See.
Hello. Hi, Manish. Good afternoon. How's it
Good
going?
afternoon.
Hi, good evening.
Yeah, it's actually evening now. That's a better one.
Afternoon for me, cause I'm in Winnipeg, so
Oh, you're in Winnipeg. Okay.
yeah.
Well, it's warmed up nicely here, so it's not too bad. Yeah.
Lucky you all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Manish, first and foremost, thanks a lot for the presentation. That was really, really helpful. Got to take some insights on that. Me and my partner were discussing about all the insights that you were providing, especially with the SWOT analysis and everything. We are going to go over later on, but just to give a brief about our team and everything before I hand it off to my partner. Me and my group have been participating in the hackathon for a couple of years now, like in Seneca's hackathon with our tag name Maple Croissant. We were there last year as a finalist, unfortunately. But we were as a student that year. And this year we are alumni of Seneca. So it's been our first time, like that's a really, really, it's our first time. So really looking forward to that. So me and my partner both in the blockchain, we are very, very new to it. We did our research on this thoroughly for the last 1 month, and we have decided to proceed with this. Our main idea and our main problem statement is food safety, because what we think is food safety today relies on blind trust between the labels and supply chain. But our product, TrueMark, is going to eliminate that uncertainty by making trust visible, variable, and real time. We are currently working on it, and my partner has a product and a demonstration which he is going to show it to you upon your permission.
Awesome. No, that's amazing. Yeah, this is an old use case that a lot of industry had been working on. So I think with, like I said, with tariff, it may get a fresh energy, and you may get some. To be honest, in this hackathon, there are investors coming too. So there are actually investors who are looking to fund. You may not know them, but I know them. They're looking to fund some of these projects. I mean, if you win the prize, you will get pretty decent money to actually build the solution yourself. I don't know if that's enough money, but at the same time, um, for sure, if you want to pursue it all the way, I would say take it seriously and do it that way. You have a great chance of uh, getting eyes of a sponsor. To be honest.
For sure. Looking forward to that.
Okay, thanks, Upan. And hello again, Manish. Thanks.
Yes. Hi.
On my behalf, I just wanted to say thanks for your great insights as well. I'm looking forward to have a broader discussion on finals, hopefully, to get more insights from you. And as you said, I'm also happy to hear that there are investors over there, because the way we saw this project and defined the problem and our solution is actually a feasible one, and this is what we believe that we all as first consumers need this shift. So, as Upayan was saying, we are trying to make the trust visible and transparent between consumers and the labels they see on the products. So, uh, our idea is more than just a product. I can define it better if I call it a new standard in the food safety, or a movement that uh, we can say trust is not based on assumptions. It should be proven and it should be earned. So to just go more deeper in how it works, is that TrueMark has Polygon blockchain at its core because of gas fees, as you know. And I was listening to like you were speaking in the public room, and I remember that having a cost-effective solution was one of the concerns. And I just want to assure you that we have thought about it as well. And
Yes.
later we will provide some like insights about how we want to provide a combination of free and premium experience, which we call it freemium, to the consumers to balance these expenses and costs for all the gas fee. Because from another aspect, we know that it's I mean big things are happening in the background, and there are costs for that. But who is going
Yes.
to be responsible for that? That's one of the concerns. Then that's a legit question, and we really thought about it, and we do have a good approach and like planning strategies for it as well. But
Good.
to use this, sorry.
I said very good.
Oh yeah, thanks. So what we are focusing on is to let me say in a simpler way. When we go to grocery shops, we know, okay, for example, this is a tuna fish, like this is a tuna can, and it's clear, everything is fine. But the question is, what was happening to this product, or better say, what was the journey of this tuna can before it reaches the shelf? This is something we never know. And okay, the product might be in perfect condition when it directly comes out of the factory, but there are many stages in supply chain before it reaches the shelf that might cause, for example, in the case of tuna fish, as we are talking now, uh, the problem botulism that is like very dangerous and can kill people really. So what was our focus was to make this food journey transparent to the users and how by making each part of the supply chain in food industry accountable for their own steps by logging it and sending it on the blockchain network as a single entity based on their stages. Like, I'm a farmer, I'm responsible for some criteria, and in my part, I provide enough information and send it as an like deploying the contract on the network to confirm that everything on my part was done in the best way, and it is logged. And as you know, we are talking about blockchain. It's immutable, and once it's done, it can be verified without like without falsifying or this kind of stuff. And next thing, I was talking to other teams in sites, and like one team I think was talking seriously about their ideas, and I was writing to you as well in the chat that okay, these ideas are all good and might share similarities, or like even the problem statement can be the same. However, it is very important like how we are going to implement them, because there are many sensitive aspects of these that are really challenging. As my friend Upayan said, honestly, we are working on this for more than a month. And since we like started it, we thought it's. I think Upayan can Upayan agrees on that. We thought it's a simpler thing than what we already have today. So yes, and at this point, our kit, which name is True Kit, comes in. This is a custom built design system that we thought it's better to have and crafted, inspired by some design systems, some proven design systems that are excellent on their own, which is first the Apple Human Interface Guidelines, and second, the Chakra UI, and third, which is so interesting for me, is the Ontario design system to achieve fluid design, accessible design, and consistent that can increase our speed in the face of development. And that was honestly one of the main reasons how and why we could go fast in our development phase like this to reach a prototype today, even like the challenge is released not a long time ago. So the design system we went through and we crafted from scratch is something that just simply works. And I believe this is the most important thing because uh, we were talking about AR, okay? With all respect, I was thinking that we do have many UI elements, many systems, many options that can help us to reach more immersive experiences in the field, in many fields. However, it is also important to consider that these all are directly or indirectly contributing to a new social phenomenon of social fatigue. And we could not deny that. And it was the core of our new design system toolkit. And lastly, before I get back to Upayan for insights, we ran a global survey with over 30 participants now across roles, consumers, farmers, and like supply chain pros. And the feedback was very clear. Upayan will go on the details, but the feedback was so clear to us that people all around the world, but specifically and especially like 100% of residents of the American continent, they all agreed that a shift is required to the food safety standards nowadays. So thanks for listening to that. And before we move back to Payan, I just want to show you a simple intro of it. So realizing the product and our project would be easier. And before I start, I just had to add something else, which was the recall option for our product. Nowadays, as you know, the government is in charge for spreading sensitive information about food safety on its own portal. But uh, an honest question would be how many of people are aware of that? And I believe the level of like notifying people about the probable diseases and issues in the like food products is not being done as serious as it really is. Therefore, what we had to include in our product more than just the blockchain verification was an extra layer of security, which is taking that product that already exists from the legit resource like the government uh, into the game. So people could really use that because they spend a large budget on it to implement that, to just make it work. And now we are just missing it. So we had to take that in our product as well. And we did that through the API integration by checking the specific product recall notices on the government's portal in real time when they scan a product. So we get back to Payan after this prototype if you agree.
Yeah, I have one question for you.
Sure.
So I know you're saying that all these actors or parties within the chain, they have to comply. My question is, if let's say there are five actors within the chain, one of them don't comply, would you penalize them? Or would you incentivize those who do comply?
Great
So how
question.
would you handle that?
Yes, great question. So first we were thinking about exactly as you say. First we were even thinking about how to convince businesses to use this, because now maybe they are competing on like better storytelling mostly. I mean, whatever it is, it stands above the actual product's quality. So what we have in mind is with a strategic plan to make it work among the people. And once it works among the people and once the demand is there in the market, the companies have honestly no other choice than just going with the flow. Because if, for example, if you go to the grocery shop and you scan a product in this way and you see one product has all the badges of verification and the other one does not have, personally, which product you would go with? So obviously I would say you will go with the one that has the badges. And gradually I would say once companies, like even the small number of companies, start using it, the demand will be there. And after the demand will be there, if companies do not want to uh, lose their like uh, benefits or sales, they have to go with it. And for each product specifically, uh, we have different stages. Let's say three stages. One is the production line. The second one would be, for example, the transportation part, and the last one, the storage part. And the level we are verifying each step is like it's not all at once. As said, each of the authorities have their own part to log their stuff, and each will be having their own contract on the network. And so the way we show to the consumers is that was honestly one of the user experience challenges we had, to visually implement an element in our interface that's showing each part of the journey visually, so it's easy to grasp for the people and they can clearly and easily understand who logged what exactly in which stage of their food's journey. Did I address your question?
Yeah, no, that's the way to do it. It's just that the consumer side, you have to really educate. The consumer side have to be ready and
Mm-hmm.
wanting to do this. So
Yeah.
there has to be push from consumer side, and then the actor side, all the people within supply chain, they have to somehow comply. I don't think you can penalize, but you can definitely incentivize.
Yes.
So
No. Having the penalty was not like was never be an approach for us.
yeah, I think you gotta incentivize, but then how do you incentivize? Maybe some sort of miles implementation or coins implementation. I don't know what that is, rewards. You gotta think about something,
Yes,
right?
yes, definitely. We will go through. But now it's just our focus is on the core functionalities because we have a like a tight deadline now to just go with the minimum viable product at this point. And later on, definitely we will discuss further about that.
Okay, let's hear
Okay.
it. Yeah, go
So
for it.
thanks. If you agree, I just show the simple and like it's less
Sure.
than 30 seconds. Thanks. You should be able to see this, right? The white screen. Okay. So I just play Upayan. After this, it's all yours.
Thanks.
All yours.
Manish, before I move forward, any questions or any insights pertaining to the video or anything?
No, it's good. I like it. It's visual. So if I am a consumer, I go to store, I see this croissant, there's a QR code, I scan it, and then this thing comes in, right?
That's absolutely what I want to like, what you want to say, what you want to show.
Yeah, yeah. And then you have some sort of seal that is only given because it's been verified and all that. But
That's
I
correct.
think the front end looks good. This is what something I am actually looking for as a consumer. But the back end, you got to figure out how does that happen, you know. So
Mhm.
obviously with this hackathon, it's hard, but like you can think about um, some sort of storyline in the back end processing.
Honestly, that's what we are going like we're working right now. So starting from tonight until the very end, we're going to make sure to at least create 2 to 3 static use cases to store into our database so that we can show to you and all the other judges during the presentation day. So we are going to work on that, hopefully, and we just come up with some kind of prototype before that. Just before I move ahead, Manish, I just wanted to quickly add something to that, which my partner was talking about earlier, and you had the question about the incentivizing that thing. Just to briefly summarize this, we all know that in the food, like there is a food standard in the market, which we known as FSSI or like other kind of certifications in market. So for a specific company to actually get a hold of that kind of certification, they have to go through a certain policy or a certain list of policies in order for them to get that badge. Similarly, when we are going to implement our idea into the market, we are going to start with a very, very small sector of our industry. And gradually, when the user space grows, they are going to see our product and that will actually act as a shield and as a prototype for other users to implement on their specific products. That's how we see our product in the future to grow.
So from what I understand, you're thinking about something like Blue Seal. I don't know if you know about Blue Seal. Do you?
Heard of it, but not very familiar with that.
Yeah, Blue Seal. I think it's a tuna use case that Carrier. Did I name you? Did I say your name right? Is it Kiarash or Kiria?
Here, Ash.
Yes, Karish.
Karish. Okay, Karish. So Blue Seal is about tuna. I think I've seen that for I think seafood. So
It's like in a badge on the tuna foods, right?
yes,
Yes.
yes, yes. So I think you're thinking about you guys becoming a badge of your own or certification of your own, which is pretty good. But then obviously you have to see who are the big players in the market. Uh, Maybe collaborate with them because they already have a lot of infrastructure going on, like ISIs and FSI, whatever they you mentioned earlier, a bunch of them happening. I think there's a big organization that um, handles this Intertech. I forgot the name, but something like that. Who are responsible for assigning these badges, right?
Right. Yeah.
So the thing is, so now you're coming up with a fresh badge or fresh safety standard. um, yeah, that could be revolutionary provided there's appetite for consumers and there's appetite for adoption all across, right? Because like nobody wants to change if they don't have to change. That's a reality of things, you know. And then there's a big money involved in all these things. But
Mm-hmm.
my quest would be that, okay, let's say if I saw a blue seal badge in a product, I actually don't know what that means as a consumer. I'm just trusting that, okay, this has some value. But now, if you are able to provide through QR code the additional information around, okay, what does that blue seal mean, right? Does that mean it's ethical farming? Does that mean it's kosher? Whatever the thing is, right? So I think the explanation would be good.
And honestly, that is one of our like key strategies to enter into the market is to be as transparent to the user as possible. In different stages, we are going to break it down. And all the logo, like all the seals and all the policies that are currently available in the market, mostly like rotate around the factor of production rather than the supply chain. Our main focus is right now is the supply chain to have a transparent approach to that so that the consumer can actually see that after production until it reaches to the consumer's plate, it is all along, it is ethical or not ethical, like it is legal and it is safe to actually consume because after at the end of the day, it is still coming from the pocket. So I don't want to get sick and go to doctor tomorrow.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
There definitely a genuine challenge around it, and obviously you get E. coli all the time, and then there's a recall, so
Yeah.
that's pretty common. And there's a lot of food wastage along with loss. For one recall is very expensive proposition, to be honest, you know,
Mhm.
and it could be caused due to one bad actor. Um, if you think about the seafood, for example, tuna, let's say if the tuna was supposed to be kept in 4 degrees Celsius all the way from where it's farmed all the way till the consumption, and in between, what if the temperature went to 10 degrees? Then what happens, right?
Yeah.
And is anybody catching that? And what could
Yeah.
be the damage to that just because it went to 10 degrees for, let's say, 4 hours, right? Is there a check around it? So there is a whole use case around cold supply chain, right? Which is very specific to seafood and tuna and whatnot. Um, but then again, if there was this use case that I was actually involved with, where they're saying this is Icelandic salmon, and they're selling it for $40 for that fish. When I started researching, I found out that in Iceland there's no salmon, but they were selling it as Icelandic salmon, you know. So there we go. So consumers are being fooled, whether you like it or not. It's happening,
Yeah.
and and the big brands are doing it, unfortunately. Yeah.
It is, and have to make sure that every aspect that we cover is like legal and we're maintaining the standard. That is, of course, our goal. And of course, as you mentioned, like we can totally go ahead and create a separate entity for just C supply chain, maybe creating an IoT device that can track and update the ledger altogether. We can definitely go ahead and integrate all those things. We have that in our mind because we just cannot make a standard categorization for a specific entity and just go ahead for all the categories. We definitely have to break it down for individual specific categories like vegetables, meat, seafood, and then proceed like that. That would be our ideal approach.
Well, the good news now is that uh, for, let's say, for an actor who's busy in the farm or whatever, they actually don't have time. So you have to make the interface very friendly, user friendly, right?
Yeah.
That's number one. So let's say if somebody's catching fish, how do you make that interface for a farmer who's catching fish so that he's able to record enough information and pass it on to the supply chain, right? It's not easy. So you got to think about obviously IoT devices, sensors, and then right now the good news is using AI, right? So I would say use AI all across within supply chain to do as much automation as possible with intelligence built in, obviously, so that the human side of things are very less taxing, right?
Yeah.
So like visual images, so the AI could be even going through visual images to make sure that it's not spotting any um, something. You got to think about something. I don't have solution, but you got to think about something. Yeah.
Yeah, and also like just to add up on that, the way I see it is if we can create, first thing first would be the categorization to eliminate the necessity for the vendor side or the supply chain side to access certain resources unless we want them to. For instance, if they want to record something and send it to the blockchain, maybe when they enter it, specific fields are grayed out, for instance, date and time, and like so that when they enter that thing, they cannot modify those information. That's one way of seeing it, according to me. So we can definitely go ahead and create those kind of restrictions and limit that usage.
Agree. You gotta make sure they're not for what do you call bad actors,
Right.
basically, right? So, um, and then when you were showing that visual for your log, I would say also pick one example where things didn't go the way you wanted to, right? So let's say it was not verified, because then you could almost say, because it failed, this thing failed the test because what happened? Something happened in between, some event, right?
Yes.
You could also show that in your anomaly detection or whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
And I believe my partner did note one of the use cases for the failed cases. So we definitely have that in mind. Just in case one of the supply chain breaks, we are going to be transparent. For the user side, they are definitely going to see what went wrong. And if they are going to take the risk of actually buying it, knowing that it didn't go as expected and it's not blockchain verified. So we do
Yeah, I
have
mean, this gets very very interesting when you talk about, let's say, medical supply chain, where you have vaccines being transported, right? Or
Yeah.
a special vial being transported and needs to be maintained in certain conditions all across, and it's coming from India or China, wherever. So it gets pretty critical. Yeah,
Yeah, so that's actually one of the use cases that we were talking about. Like the first two steps actually went as expected, but during the transportation, it didn't go. So at the end, it has limited transparency. So it didn't meet the standard. So user will be able to see everything, all the details.
excellent, excellent. I love that.
Yeah.
This is good. Yeah.
All right.
Also, sorry, just sorry, I'm going to interrupt.
Yep. No.
Uh, about like you were saying, Manish, about bad actors in this way. But as we know, for example, the timestamps nowadays are being used as sometimes like a more cost-effective way, an alternative to like the copyrights. For example, if you want to get a copyright for something, there are some costs for that. But for example, I saw in some fields, like the design field, people and designers started using timestamps or blockchain timestamps to get the rights. So, what if when a person is logging, because each part when they are logging, that a person is doing it. Okay. So, what if at the end of that, like among the input fields we have, there is a signature, and that is also immutable. And if there is any issue that in further inspections they get to know that was the issue that happened during the transportation because of like they didn't go with the standards, then it's obvious who logged that, who confirmed that they went all with the standards, and it can be used for legal action.
Yeah, I think those are good things, to be honest. And there's definitely enough consumer demand to be able to offer this to our consumers, right? Like, FedEx and DHL, they're offering a lot of transparency. Sometime back, you wouldn't see a detailed log. You would see, okay, in transition, but now you see a very detailed log of what's going on to a very specific granularity. So you got to think about how granular you want to be, right?
Yes.
Um, so, I mean, think of a solution, okay, layer one, layer two, right? Layer one is okay, the less granularity, layer two is deeper granularity, right? and obviously everything is cost, has to be cost balanced somehow, right?
Perfect. And the last thing, don't take too much time anymore, but the last thing we were talking about was based on the statistics we got for some years. Each year, there is a load of more than 11,000 people that get hospitalized because of the foodborne diseases. And this clearly shows that there are gaps here in between.
Yeah, for sure, there are definitely gaps. um, yeah.
And we're just trying to just fix it to the extent.
Yeah.
Okay, so are we guys all good?
Yep, all good. Just we'll take quickly a minute just to show the data, if that's fine.
Sure.
Okay.
So when are you planning to come here, or are you going to be virtual?
Oh no, oh no. If I like to be very honest with you, Manish, Seneca's hackathon is really, really close to my heart. I absolutely would love to be in person if get the opportunity. So even I was checking the flights ticket this. Oh yeah, yeah. That's it.
Kairesh, you're here. You're in York region.
I am, yes.
Okay,
I'm
that's
nearby.
good. So I'll see you on Saturday, and hopefully
Yeah,
I'll see you Opayan as well.
yeah.
Fingers
I mean,
crossed.
obviously, because we are a team of two, so I can't be alone there. He has to come.
Yeah.
Well, these days you could do virtually, I suppose, but there's no such thing like the real experience.
Yeah, but the impression matters there.
Yeah.
Okay. Quickly, just not take much time.
Yeah, the flight shouldn't be too bad. Is what, 2 hours?
Uh, it's 2.5. It's,
Yeah,
yeah, down the
shouldn't be
line.
too bad. Yeah. Are you working there, Opayan?
I am, yeah. I just started. It's been like 6 months. Just moved from Toronto. So yeah,
Okay, yeah. Well, you come on Friday, spend some time here, and then go back Sunday.
that's the plan. That's the plan. Friday evening after work, catch a flight, go there,
Yeah.
hackathon, and then come back.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah.
You'll gain 1 hour, so you're okay. No, actually,
Exactly.
you
Yeah.
lose. You lose 1 hour.
Lose, but coming back. Coming back. So
Coming back, you again. Yeah.
let me see.
You could have added more people because this is pretty interesting use case. Not very
Actually,
many.
Manish, our team was a team of 5 people last year, but we lost a lot of guys because we graduated and most of them became busy. So we two are available. So yeah,
We just kept the name the same, so
yeah, just
it
the
will be the memory of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe Abby can add few
Yes.
team members.
Oh no.
sorry, Abigail, can you add me to the breakout room? I believe I have to reopen Zoom from my side. Will it be possible for you to add me?
Yeah, I think you're assigned here anyway, so you can
Okay,
join.
perfect, perfect,
Okay.
perfect.
Is it coming back?
Yes, I've assigned him. Yeah, it should be.
Okay, perfect. Thanks.
So, Kailash, you graduated already or still studying?
No, me and Opine, we both graduated at the
So
same
are you
time.
working now?
I'm not. I'm still in the job hunt process.
What did you study?
Computer programming.
So what do you like?
Like currently in this project, you see, I'm working as a full stack, and beside that, I've been active in the UX research part and the UI designing part as well. So I'm kind of interested in like the whole development and designing phases altogether. And yeah, I like to create like the relation between the elements from the design phase to the actual development phase.
Yeah, I mean, stay in touch with me. I may be able to guide you.
Definitely, I would be
So
grateful.
I think you have my email, or get it from Abby, and
Oh
then send me
yes,
a
sure.
note, maybe your resume even, and we'll see what we can do. Okay?
Definitely, I would be appreciated. Thanks.
Open, you're muted.
Sorry about that. Yeah. So just to wrap up real quick on that. So based on what my partner Kiarash mentioned, that we gathered a bit of data from all of our sources that we had, both through social media and through our channels. So just to briefly summarize, we had a data set of like 31 entries over here, which states the main sets are if they actually think that right now the rules need to be strict. We got a total response of 94% over there, which is one of the flags that points out that we really need to dive into this industry. So this is just a specific measure or a specific log to showcase or back our specific product on based of this data analysis that we got. So most of the rules that we have, like 65% over here, saying that if they are willing to scan a product to verify its safety and authenticity, we got a positive response over there as well. Similarly, we have the other factors that says that if they doubt the accuracy and truthfulness, over there, we have got a bunch of rare records for that, mostly 61% on a favor of that. Similarly, we have got geography, and we also have got the main reasons of concerns over there to back off our project idea over here.
How are you conducting these surveys?
Mostly like open chain, like both my and Kirash's networks. So we are just creating an anonymous link and sending out for a survey, and they are just filling out their information and just conducting a regular survey with the
But we had
information.
to run it globally because we personally, what was in my mind was to see if people around the world has the same concern as like people who are living in this continent to get a meaningful data.
That's pretty impressive, actually. Yeah, that's exactly what needs to happen is deeper dive into consumer psyche. Um, Again, there are companies who just do this for living,
Hmm.
just gather the consumer psyche. Um, I'm sure we
And
could
it was
hire
so
somebody to.
interesting. And it was so interesting to see that 100% of people who are living in Canada and the US mentioned the concern of mislabeling and food recalls
Hmm.
with no
Okay, that's
exception.
good. So there's some legs to your problem
Exactly.
challenge, you know.
Yeah, just to back off our product.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. So yeah, I mean, end of the day, judges is gonna appreciate all this. However, I think the bigger question is, do you want to pursue it all the way? Then you gotta align. I mean, what's the reason you're doing this? Obviously, gaining experience is one of them. But like, if you want to build this product, even align yourself to somebody who's working on these things, get some sort of sponsorship, and then just could be a nice side project, but it could transpire into something bigger, you know?
Absolutely. We have that in our minds. I'm going to go deep into the stakeholder side and possibly bring it on Saturday just to discuss further, but that is definitely in our radar on that aspect. Yeah.
Okay, cool. No, it's good. I'm glad that I appreciate the fact that you guys are really deep into it. Obviously, you started last year, so that's good. That's how the journey goes. Yeah, so all the best.
Thank you.
Hopefully, you win the top three, maybe if not first.
Fingers crossed on that. Thanks,
Yeah,
Manish.
yeah.
Yeah.
But there are some good, sharp people, and like I said, a lot of it boils down to presentation, right? So some people have good solutions, but they are not able to present that well. Either their English or communication skills are lacking, or the visuals aren't doing the justice, right? Or both. Um, so if you cover those bases by having the visuals and yet presenting your solution in a nice articulate way so that judges could understand. Because at the end of the day, let's say if you're building your startup, that would be the key for you guys to present it to the investors. And then if investors like you guys as founders, then they will invest on you, right? So that's the name of the game. So this practice is that okay, 5 years down the line, hopefully you will be working on your own use case, and then yeah, they'll be live. So these are the experiences that you gain throughout this journey.
But I really hope they understand the same as you, because for this tight deadline, it's too much of a work, too much of a work, and uh, I'm happy that you really understand that. Even like it's good if I can just show
Well,
a glance,
that's why
show a
it's
glance of
important
it.
to
Just the
to
the volume of files up till now we have.
yeah. Well, that's why it's important to limit the scope, because obviously, our expectation is not to do a full-fledged solution. So restrict the scope to the front ends, the visuals, the presentations, not necessarily a back-end programming. I don't think that's anybody's expectation.
Okay.
But if you
Because what
are
we saw
able
last
to,
year was their product was running like the winner.
well, some of these use cases are simplistic, right? And
Okay.
then some of these people are resourceful. So they were able to hack their way, I guess. I think the people who got first, um, they actually they did pretty good, to be honest. You know, Yeah, I was impressed too because I mean they went all the way. And then the whole team participated. I think one of the guys was really super duper programmer, and he was able to just code everything, like so.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's not the expectation. But obviously, if somebody has done it, they're gonna win because they're gonna beat everybody else by several miles.
The winner of last year, honestly, they were good. Especially if I'm not mistaken, his name was Matched. Uh,
Yes, I think it was Matt. Yeah,
it
yeah,
was perfect.
yeah.
It was a really good
No, I
product.
saw their solution. I was judged there, so
Yes, he was
everybody
able
loved
to
it. Yeah,
present it very well. Their
yeah.
product was good, running. Yeah, and we are just trying to come with a like a nice package of a working solution. Because as said, like it's kind of easy to just sit and brainstorm ideas. Okay, I want this happening in real life, but how? How feasible it is, how costly it is, and
Yeah,
all
it's
these are
not easy.
important.
It's not easy. It's not easy to come up with something in 4 days. I understand. It's actually, to be honest, it's a 4 days, 5 days of day and night, 18 hours worth of work for 5 days.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Upayan maybe have to take off for a day or two to get this thing going.
We are really trying everything to just win this time.
Yeah, let's see.
Yeah, do your best. Don't worry about too much backend programming. Get some synthetic data, make it happen. That's it. That's my 2 cents. you'll do good. Yeah.
Thanks very much.
Thanks again, Manish, for that.
Thanks for all the
Okay.
time.
Yeah. All the best. Abigail, anything else, or that's it for us?
Yeah, that's it for us. Best of luck to you guys. Thank you, Manish, for
Thanks.
extending.
Abigail, just sorry, can I have Manish email, please?
Sure. I'll relay it to you.
And thanks, Abigail, for the breakout room.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Really appreciate that.
Good luck to you guys. Good luck.
Have a great one.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks a lot. Take care. Okay. Bye
Bye.
for now.